Hey everyone, thought we'd try something a little different today. We're going to be talking about a movie that I am confident you forgot existed, if you ever even heard of it. It's 1988's Attack of the Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Clowns spelled with a K and a Z at the end. Now, this movie, I just rewatched it, so you don't have to. And there's a lot that I could say about it. It is one of those movies. I'm 40, right? So when this movie came out, I was still young. I think I was 7 when I saw it. And so my memory of it, there are parts of it that are scary in a gory sense, right? Like you see a human body that has been decapitated or is, bloody and locked in candy, what's it called? Cotton candy. But, obviously the movie is self-aware that it's kind of silly. It is what I would call Tales from the Crypt scary, which again might be a generational reference, but Tales from the Crypt were the HBO series. And in fact, it had a similar aesthetic, the Killer Klowns movie. It's kind of Jim Henson-y, but scary costumes, right? The clowns are in real live action suits. There are some special effects, but these are 80s special effects, 1988. Like they have this gun that shoots cotton candy, and then there's like a little digital effect that comes out of the gun, and a digital wrapping of the cotton candy around the people that they kill. Anyways, point being, the effects are so-so. The clowns look cool in that 1988 Jim Henson, Dark Crystal kind of puppeteering, live action puppeteering way. The premise of the movie, as you might guess, there's no real build-up. It's a good old American town with lots of different characters. There's the yokel, there's the store owner, there's the good cop, there's the bad cop, there's the teenagers. There's also the writing. The acting is bad even for its time. The writing is cheesy and bad even for its time. A lot of the jokes probably wouldn't play well today. I'm not like super politically correct, so I didn't mind them, but I would not imagine them playing well in major movies today. I don't even think they'd make it into a major movie today. The jokes, right? There's jokes about fat girls and jokes about hooking up and sex and taking advantage of women and blah blah blah. And yeah, the acting it's one of those classic, mid-sized budget movie acting kind of quality. And again, the premise is these clowns are aliens and they go from planet to planet. They've come to Earth, and the whole thing that actually ties the movie together is the different ways in which they kill their victims, right? They put on a puppet show, but then the puppets bring out a gun and shoot this cotton candy around. Everybody gets wrapped in this cotton candy, which then they have these big kind of cartoony, straws, and they put the straws in the cotton candy and they drink your blood, right? So they're kind of like vampire clowns from outer space. And again, they have these cartoonish ways of killing everybody. They, make, I think I may have mentioned the balloon animal, or they do one where he does, I think I mentioned the puppet show. They do balloon animals. They do, they deliver pizza, and out of the pizza comes, a clown, and they, have this, they jokingly put on boxing gloves when they get in a fight with the local biker gang, and then they punch the biker gang's head off his body. What's funny, again, is when you watch it as an adult, it's, especially in 2023, it's silly. It's not scary. At best, it's Tales from the Crypt scary, which again is more like there's moments of gore where, you could imagine it being kind of creepy if you really dwell on the imagery. But for the most part, it's not scary or anything like that. But in my mind, I remember watching this as a child. I was 7 or 8, and it creeped me out when I was a kid. I remember not being scared of clowns, but like just having those images stick with me a lot more than I think they would stick with maybe even a 7-year-old. I mean, I would show this to my 9-year-old, now, and I don't think he would bat an eye because by today's standards, the effects just look cartoonish and silly and obviously fake. I don't think he would be disturbed by it, maybe the way that I was when I was 7 in 1988, 89, whenever I saw it. So the question is does it hold up? I'm going to give it a no. I am going to occasionally look at old movies, and just to make a point here, there are movies from that era that absolutely do hold up. I want to do a video on The Princess Bride, for example, which I believe came out in 1987. And The Princess Bride is close to timeless, if not absolutely timeless. And I would like to touch on why that's the case. This movie, not so timeless. Lots of it doesn't work. The writing, the acting, the effects, the premise, the plot. There's not really a plot. It's just sort of these clowns take over the city, and the townspeople, get killed and react, and everybody's scared, and they have the good cop, and the teenagers are onto them. They would have gotten away with it if it hadn't been for those meddling kids. That kind of vibe. So yeah, it does not hold up. You don't have to watch it. Except I would say this again. I'm what we would call an old millennial or a young Gen X. If you are a younger millennial or even a Gen Z or whatever, and you kind of want a glimpse at what life was like in 1988, there are parts of this movie where that vibe comes across. It's very 80s, 1988. This movie is dripping with 80s kind of the hair, the opening scene is they're at like a makeout point, and kids are in their cars, and the boys and the girls are making out, and an ice cream truck comes by, which is the two loser teenagers who sell ice cream, and again, it's just got that kind of raw. You would watch this from an anthropological or sociological point of view, and it would explain what life was like in the 80s. So in that respect, I think it's a good movie. But in every other way, you could kind of skip it, except maybe Google, or look on YouTube for some of the scenes. The scenes, some of the ways that the clowns kill the victims. It's funny, But again, it's more like a knock joke almost, rather than a movie. In fact, in some respects, you could say this was like one of those SNL skits that goes on too long. I think Attack of the Killer Klowns from Outer Space is just that. Anyways, thought I'd bring this up. For those of you that might remember it, maybe it brought a little smile, reminiscing what this movie was. And let me know if you like the idea of doing The Princess Bride as a movie next. And thank you very much.